Hello students, we have already done the title and the first three lines of Heaven of Freedom. And before we move on, we'll do a quick recap. Uh, the poem was written in the early part of the 20th century when the struggle for political independence was going on in India. Now, you all must have read the poem and you all must have found it quite simple, but it has a lot of depth and angle to it when you see how he draws a picture of a free India. So, when the Britishers ruled the Indians, they had no freedom of speech, action, knowledge, education, and definitely they had no self respect also, as they were under a yoke of oppression and suppression. Now, Britishers ruled by following the divide and rule policy, that is the Hindu Muslim divide, which caused a lot of violence and dissension. And the Britishers were only too happy to play this caste card and keep the nation divided. Tagore, as a patriot, was very pained by this cunning politics of the Britishers, and he prayed to God fervently that his countrymen would be educated and would rise above these divisions, discriminations, distinctions, and become a united whole. As you can see in the poem, he begins and at the end he says he prays for a world which is not broken and which is not fragmented in the name of religion, culture, color, economy, and politics. Tagore, having been educated abroad, was an internationalist in his thinking, and he advocated for a world government where different cultures would coexist in harmony. He longed for an undivided world where there would be tolerance among people, and a world where people would have the courage to see, speak, and stand for truth. For he believed that truth, when attained, sets one free. If people have knowledge, if people have education, and if they have the courage to stand for truth, that is the right thing, then a lot of old customs, traditions, rituals, injustices, evil practices, and superstitions could be done away with. He believed that very strongly. And if you see this line where he says, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic wall. Now, the second half of this line is very important, where he talks of narrow domestic walls. Now, what do you understand by walls? Walls are built to divide, and here by walls Tagore means a kind of a division, a kind of a separation from man to man. And when we talk of the pre-independence era, walls were there and in some respects still are, on the basis of birth, that is the high birth and the low birth. In those times, people belonging to low caste, low birth were maltreated and mistreated by people belonging to the high caste. Now, there were walls on the basis of wealth, that is the rich and the poor. We had the zamindar class on one hand, and we had the peasant class on the other, and there was a lot of exploitation and oppression on the part of the zamindars towards the peasant class. Then there were walls on the basis of caste. You had the Hindu Muslim divide. There were so many riots happening because of caste. Then walls on the basis of education. That is, you had the literate and the illiterate, and also walls on the basis of gender, men and women. India has always been and still is in some respects a male dominated society, and women have always been subjugated, dominated, and discriminated against. Uh, in the pre independence era, there were many social evils like sati, dowry, and child marriage, which were evil practices and which kept the women shackled and chained, and kept India as a nation backward. So, by walls, we have had a very, I should say, a large area where you could interpret it in different ways, and narrow means again very restricted, and would refer to narrow mindedness, that is not liberal thinking but very narrow thinking, which would lead to backwardness. And domestic, now we have here this narrow domestic walls. Now domestic refers to the home and the societal life, that is the life that is in society. So what he's saying here, the world has been broken up, now it has been fragmented, there has been groupism, there is no unity, it has been divided on the basis of these walls which are narrow and which are there in the society. And in society, that is the social cultural clashes which have always been taking place on the basis of caste, color, creed, and culture. Now Tagore envisioned an India which was united and which followed the principle of unity in diversity. Now, in India, there are so many cultures, so many religions, traditions. Uh, People follow different habits, dress, food. So it is very unique. And Tagore appreciated this uniqueness and wanted all the Indians to live in harmony and in peaceful coexistence along with their differences. So, this was one of his dreams. And then he talks of in the next line where words come out from the depth of truth. Now, when he talks of truth, he was very much influenced by the Gandhian philosophy of truth. In my experiments with truth, which Gandhiji wrote his autobiography, Gandhiji fully accepted the value of truth. For Gandhiji, realization of truth was the purpose of human life. And truth and ahimsa were two very important principles, and he wanted to gain freedom on the basis of these two principles, uh, ahimsa and truth. Now he is a unique example in the world because no one in the world has followed or attained freedom on the basis of ahimsa. So for him, it was not just the end but the means also to attain that end was important. So not just the attainment of freedom but how that freedom was attained was equally important. And he did not attain that freedom with the help of violence, but he attained it on the basis of non violence, ahimsa. And he said to get freedom one has to uh, uh, sort of work towards this, that is he has to strive tirelessly towards achieving that freedom. In the third line where you see which we are doing today, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. So he says that hard work, hard labor, uh, diligence is very important, not only in the attainment of freedom but for any goal that a person may have in his life, whether it is his ambition, aim. You have to be very determined and focused, and he says if you strive and work hard towards it tirelessly without any exhaustion, keeping your focus on that goal, then one would eventually reach perfection. So he says that to attain freedom or to attain anything in life that you want, you have to work towards this. Be truthful, follow the path of truth, stand by truth, and should rise above all the differences, the petty differences, the walls, the divisions, and work tirelessly towards perfection. We'll continue and complete the poem in the next lecture.